Thank you very much for joining episode 5 of The Pleasure Principle with... Why don't they call you a doctor?
Because I'm not.
You went to school for 6 years and they don't call you a doctor?
4. Where you came up with 6. Now, how did you create that? It's 4. I'm a therapist, not a doctor. There's a difference.
Okay, great. For a layman, I understand. So this is understanding the size.
Not really.
Yeah?
It's how a man should understand the vagina and the process that happens.
And
how I get
and
to
how
teach.
a woman should understand the penis.
Yes.
Unajua, you claim to be a vagina whisperer.
Okay.
I'm here to protect men. You're there to protect the vagina.
Right.
You know? So let's be fair, Mr. Matheka. I keep telling you, let's be fair.
But aren't you the one? Aren't you the one who asked me, can you speak on how men can best understand the vagina? And that's what I want to speak on.
No. The question is, how best should both gender understand the other male?
Let's do this.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us again. I hope that you're going to enjoy this episode. Is it going to be scandalous?
Well, most things that I talk about in my head are not scandalous. It's only scandalous if you have a conservative mind. If you have an open mind, then it's just a breeze.
I wonder why people are always feeling things are scandalous. Like they have to grab their earphone when something pops on the speakers. Grab the earphone.
It's because they're trying to fight with their version of what morality looks like. And morality in most cases is very boring.
No, you can't say morality is very boring.
I can, I just did.
I am a church guy.
I didn't say don't go to church. I just said morality is boring.
Morality is boring. Morality is what keeps us, bro. It's what makes us weird. So we must have a level of morality. You can't just go wild the way you want. You can't just go wild.
I can, but I go wild in a space with like-minded people. The point is you can't just go wild in the middle of the CBD, but you can go wild in spaces that you feel you can go wild. That's the thing. But even in spaces where people could go wild, they don't go wild. That's why I'm saying morality can be boring.
Take it from here.
Yes.
Give me an overview.
Let's start with when men approach me. And they're like, Maurice, I really want to learn about the female anatomy, and especially the area that all men love in a woman. The only way that can happen is, I'd be lying to you if I told you we're going to meet somewhere and have a discussion for an hour or 2 or 3, and you're going to learn anything from it. What I'll do is I'll take money from you, but you won't have learned anything. So what happens is, I'm a believer of having a physical session where you can literally learn how to handle the woman's anatomy. If you're looking at the vagina, I do have female models that I've trained and I work with. So we have a venue and she turns up and the client turns up, who happens to be male, and I take him through the stimulus centers of the vagina, and he gets to actually witness himself being able to cause a woman to squirt, which for him was like mythical. That's the beginning of his class. That's the beginning of his knowledge. Because if I just send him notes, he'd be like, hold on, I paid for notes. I could have just Googled that for free. But because you're taking him through the steps physically, he's able to tune in and go like, now I understand. I was actually doing it the wrong way. He's the one who'll explain that, because that's what I've seen over the years. When we have that kind of a session, the results are amazing. And obviously when he goes into his private sexual life, he gives me feedback and goes like, wow, everything I learned within that 2, 3, 4 hour session, I applied and it works amazing. And that's when he realizes he was working hard, not smart. You work smart when you understand the anatomy. The same way you find a woman is the kind of woman a man says like, oh my God, she's so amazing in bed. She's not amazing in bed. She just knows how to stimulate me, how to give me certain arousals in that bed that cause me to think like she's just amazing. And that means if we all acquired these skills, we would be more productive sexual lovers. wherever we're having sex with, or at, or with.
I believe that all of this. The good thing with this series is that it's gonna go wild.
It's gonna go wild.
It's gonna go far. And
I hope so.
I think somebody from the Bahamas is going to be like, this guy Matheka wants me to travel all the way to Kenya, or I should put him a plane to come to the Bahamas and then show me with his model.
I'm actually chatting with a client who is in South America right now,
which is great,
and that's because of the content you and I are producing,
which is amazing. I love it, creating this content, but I want to have a question with you. I think that you are, I don't want you to escape this thing and just ask for people to come and see for themselves. I think there is a level at which you can explain this without a model, like just a little bit of overview. You can tell us a little bit of what it takes, the female anatomy. You can always touch on it.
Well, I can touch on it by, using that exact words. I would ask a man, has he ever figured out where the G-spot is? And if you enter from the vaginal rim on the top end of the vagina for about 2 to 3 inches, depending on the woman's body size, is a membrane that was called the G-spot by a doctor in the 80s. That G-spot is like, for men who like football, it's like a mini football that's on the upper part of the vagina. If you stimulate it in a certain way, it should cause her to feel at some point like she wants to pee. That means she's having spasms that could cause her to have a squirting orgasm. That's one thing a man can do. And he can do that as he's having a conversation with the woman. And all he has to do is apply pressure, like you're massaging. So like when you go to a masseuse and they're applying like deep tissue pressure, and he just starts to pressurize the upper part of the vagina. And he can use either his index finger or his middle finger. And all he has to do is just insert it till it gets to the end. And then he starts to apply pressure like that. Just that pressure. None of this finger funking, just pressure. Upward motion pressure until she feels, oh my God, there's this buildup and I feel like I want to pee. Then he's halfway there. If he just tries that and him and his partner start practicing that, he'll get to a point where he starts to master it. But it starts with first having the feeling and the visual of what it's making her do. If he's able to start doing that just as an exercise, just that. Don't do 20 things, just do exactly what I described. When you start stimulating that G-spot area, it's supposed to manifest a swelling. One of the reasons why women are not able to orgasm is not because of our penises. It's because our G-spot doesn't swell. If it doesn't swell, it means it's not going to have spasms. And spasms are like little earthquakes. It's like the way you and I have a penis and it twitches. Even when it's erect, depending on the sensation you're feeling, it can twitch.
I love that.
It can come to
now
throb.
You're talking about the penis.
Yes.
I am an advocate for the penis. And
fantastic penis advocate.
So now, can you just flip the coin
okay.
and talk about what a woman can do to have a man have that feeling?
What a woman can do?
Yes.
Well, if a vagina is conditioned, and that's why it's a process. You have been stimulating her G-spot, so it starts to swell like a ball. When it starts to swell, when your penis is inside her vagina, she can start to push out rather than contract. Women contract not because they were taught by some Sangha or some traditional therapist in the village, but because that's her procreational nature of contracting her vaginal muscles. So if she starts to push, and pushing is the same muscles that you use when you laugh. When you laugh, if you were to insert your finger in a woman's vagina and not move it, and then tell her laugh or crack a joke, you'll feel her vaginal vulva start to squeeze your finger. Why? Because the entire vulvar structure and the muscles that are around here, the lower abdomen, they're the ones that are used to push. So when she starts pushing as if she's farting, because they're also used for farting, and whenever the vagina starts to push, the anus starts to do the same dance because they're interconnected. There's actually a very thin membrane that separates the anus and the vagina. and they both have nerve endings. So back to her pushing when your penis is inside, that causes a sensation that you and I would like. It can cause that throbbing effect, and rather than, you see, when she starts to suck, that contraction, the contraction causes the man to feel that urge to ejaculate faster because it's a procreational system. But if she starts to push, she starts to massage the penis. And if she massages the penis, depending on your thrust rhythm, you start to feel better and better and better. If you have staying power, then it's just going to be amazing. But what's more amazing is what your girth is going to start doing is rubbing on where your finger was. Your finger is used to train the G-spot to swell. When the G-spot starts to swell by itself, because the penis cannot bend like the finger, the swelling causes the penis to get a massage from the G-spot membrane. That massaging effect is how she's able to have an orgasm. The misconception is, by default, just by penetrating a woman, she's going to have an orgasm. That's not how it works. Her orgasm comes from her vagina. So her vagina needs to function in a certain way so that your penis girth can just be a catalyst of or a trigger system. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like if you have a deflated balloon, regardless of how you poke it, it can't burst, can it?
Can't.
But if you inflate the balloon and you poke it with a pin, it bursts, correct? So the vagina G-spot membrane needs to inflate. Luckily, it doesn't burst to pieces. It just causes her to have an orgasm. You see how that works? That's how magical it is. Everything that happens in the human anatomy can be explained. So back to what you are supposed to be doing, just stimulating the upper part of a vagina slowly with a bit of pressure. And it's pressure where she feels like, oh my God. When she starts feeling that, dude, you're in the right place. It even gave me goose pimples. That's powerful. That's how powerful it is, because my memory knows what a woman feels when that happens. And then when I as a man and you as a man eventually thrust your penis inside her and her vagina starts to have pulses. Those pulses are the spasms I'm talking about. They're the ones that are going to cause her G-spot to swell, and also her urethra swells. When the urethra swells, guess what happens? She starts to squirt on your penis. And as a man, you feel powerful. You feel like Superman, Tarzan.
You know, you've given me a eureka moment.
Have I?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because this is what a lot of talk outside there is that what we are being taught as men is always please her, please her, please her, please her. Do this for her. But your explanation has been amazing.
Okay.
In the sense that when you decide to do things for her, she does things for you.
Yes.
If you don't do things for her, it makes her handicapped. She can't do things for you.
Correct. A man who got it finally. Well done. Well done. Jagero, men out there cannot think I'm stupid enough just to want to make the vagina happy, and I'm not happy. That's not how it works. But if you make it about the vagina, your penis, the happiness is higher than you ever thought. Oh, much higher. Let's put it this way, Jagero, without her, you and I can easily play with our hands, finish off and sleep. True or false? But because we want to use a resource she has that we like so much, if you fine-tune her resource where we like to penetrate and it works well, we are turning that resource called the vagina into a masseuse. If I massage you and I don't know how to massage, I've never been trained, you're not going to feel it the same way a guy who's trained makes you feel. So now train the vagina to be able to massage the penis. Now you're getting it. Now, us as men, that's why a man goes like, oh my God, that was amazing. Why was it amazing? Because her vaginal muscle reacted in a way to make your penis feel amazing. And that's why you still keep returning.
Nobody has been explaining it that way.
Okay. I hear you.
Yes. And I feel like when you are explaining, for example, why do we have a good government? You have a good government so that we can have good schooling, we can have good education, we can have good health, we can have this.
Yes.
So it's not just a floating statement. It's not just a, but now that you have really explained it,
yes,
by doing that, there is reciprocity, right?
Correct. Oh, in ways you will be amazed. You see, at the end,
you are not working for her. You are working for the team.
Exactly. And now that you're using the word working, you don't have to work hard. One of the struggles that men do not share, and there are enough men in this room, is that there's a struggle when her vagina is not fine-tuned to respond the way you'd want it to respond. Selfish or not, most men would want a response. They'd like to hear a woman say, wow, that session was good. Thank you. True or false?
True.
Even for the man, he feels like, wow, all that pumping and huffing was not for nothing. But when he does not see anything manifesting, apart from his ejaculation at the end, at some point he starts to question, is it worth the effort? True or false? But now what I'm describing is, as men, for us to enjoy to that pinnacle, let's assume we're the most selfish human beings ever. For us to enjoy, for our selfishness to power up, we must condition her resource, her vagina, so that we can gain as she gains. Trust me, Jigero, when she's able to squirt 6 times, you will be going around quietly telling all other men. Why? Because you're the man. Beyond that sexual episode, 2 weeks in, you're sat somewhere with other men and you're looking at them like,
you guys don't know shit.
You guys don't know nothing. Nothing. That is what manhood is about. Feeling great beyond the episode. That's what I try and teach. But now, for once, I've gotten a man who's listened and gone like, hold on. We actually benefit from this. This is great stuff. And you see, the men who eventually come for a session, they tell me the same thing. And like, I thought you just protected the vagina. You didn't care about us.
Yes.
I have a tool that you have. So why would I not want? You see, you need to look at it this way. For too long, women have not been favored. True or false?
True.
And as a man, I uniquely have a passion. And my passion indirectly helps men. And my passion is to empower a woman, sexuality, so that she is in a place of harnessing the kind of energy that excites us. When that happens, then we all enjoy. We all enjoy.
Let's talk about size.
Yes.
It's... when you see this raging debate online about size.
Right.
The man that has got the shot, they even have pictures of it and say that, this guy has these people from this tribe.
Yes.
They say the white people don't have any dick to talk about. They say that, when they come to Kenya, they also have their own way of talking about the size.
Yes.
I don't know if there is any conversation about the size of the woman. Do we ever talk about, is there something like the size of a woman?
The only time men talk about size of the woman is mostly related to the rim of the vagina. Like when I penetrated her, I felt like I was floating.
Yes.
Hence the reference of men love a tight vagina, which, to be honest, Jagero, there's no such thing as a tight vagina. At all.
But in theory, or
No. Let's not do theory. You told me to help men. Let me help them with information that's going to be of value. If I start telling men go looking for the tightest vagina, I'm not helping them.
however,
One thing I know is this. And Jagera, you know us. When we're sat down as men, most men bolster themselves as the best sexual beings, true or false. And the only people who can say whether they were good in bed are who?
the man.
No, women.
Whether we are good in bed, yes.
It's women.
Yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
So it doesn't matter whether I told 1,000 guys I'm good in bed. Until a woman comes and says, whatever comes out of Maurice's mouth is right. He is. I am zero. I am nonsensical. I am just selling an illusion.
What
So
I
Harvard.
wanted to ask you
Yes.
is probably we are not going to have the same size. Are we?
Of penis, you mean?
Of the vagina.
No. We're not.
So some are tighter.
That depends on your girth. What's making it tight?
Yeah.
You see,
You have to fit in.
You see, yes.
You have to fit
Yes,
in.
but for you to fit in, she has to be aroused.
Yes.
When she's aroused, what happens? The vagina blossoms, correct? Can we all agree that when she's not aroused, her vagina is contracted? True or false?
True.
That's why she can even tell you sometimes she may struggle to even put a tampon in. Correct?
I'm not ready.
What?
She says I'm not ready.
No, forget about I'm not ready. A tampon. There are women who will tell you, I would struggle to put in a tampon. Which means her vagina muscle is contracted. We can agree on that, correct? So when you arouse her, what's supposed to happen?
Blossoms.
It's supposed to blossom. That's her version of having an erection.
What is blossom?
Are we?
What is
It
blossom?
opens up. It opens up, correct?
Yes.
The same way your penis fills with blood, and we call that an erection. So a woman's version of an erection is her vagina blossoms up to invite the girth. Correct? Now, Jagero, if I'm going to use these two, the girth of this glass and the girth of this cup are different, correct?
There's a difference there.
Circumference. So now, this guy is used to saying, oh my God, she was so tight. Why is he saying she's tight? Because based on his girth, once he penetrates her, he's able to open her vaginal tract. She can even go like, oh, I can feel you. Oh, God. Like he stretches our elasticity. Now, this guy, in comparison, may say, I didn't find her very tight. What's the problem? This guy said she's tight. This guy said she's not tight. What's the problem? The problem here is, depending on her body structure, depending on her vagina rim size, you need to understand, let's assume all women contract that way, okay? Just for the sake of this conversation. There's a woman, when she's aroused, she opens up there. Now, this guy will say, this one was tight. This guy will say, oh my God, she was very tight. True? She may say, wow, this one felt better in her. This one was a bit overstretched. She was a bit uncomfortable. Yet, people say, this guy must be the best. Yeah? See, that's why all men are stressing that we should all have this guy's girth. Now, there's another woman, when she gets aroused, because that's how she is, her body, how she's built. When she gets aroused, her vagina opens up a bit more. Now, when this guy enters here, he goes like, hey, she wasn't bad, but she wasn't like tight. This guy, however, when he penetrates, he goes like, oh, this is the best fit ever. She even says, oh, between the two, this guy with bigger girth, my guy. Have you seen what I've done? Sometimes our mismatch is my girth versus her blossoming may not connect. So it's not about he has a small penis, he has a big penis. Which two are fitting in well? What's a good fit? Do you see what I'm saying? You can get a woman who your penis feels like King Kong. It feels like an elephant. Have you seen an elephant's whatever? Yeah, it's basically the size of me and you. Do you know what I'm saying? Now there's the fit where you're like, oh, I fit well, but I'm not enjoying stroking it. Why? Because there's a discomfort. Yet, according to magazines, the bigger the better. True or false? So what I'm trying to tell people is stop stressing whether you're small, whether you're big. The thing is, are you and that person sexually compatible in regards to how a vagina blossoms and how your penis rushes with blood? It even goes deeper to the fact that sometimes men will call me and ask me, Matheka, how come at home my penis is not very hard? But when I'm not at home, it looks humongous.
What does at home mean? And not at home mean?
See, at home, you're at home.
No.
See, home is where you stay.
You put things in color in black and white.
At home. I love the fact that you've asked that. I intentionally said at home because I wanted to see how you're going to react to it. So this is good. It's part of the conversation. At home, I'm saying, what this guy is saying is, when I'm at home with my wife, my erection seems not to be full on. Sometimes I leave and penetrate and I lose it. And maybe she has to give me a blowjob so it awakens, then I lose it again. But when I'm out there...
In Naivasha?
Yes.
In Nanyuki?
It's so sizable.
In Diani?
I literally have to have a conversation with it. Like, is it you? Like, damn, what's going on?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now you're asking yourself,
back from the dead.
Is it the gin? Is it the whiskey? Is it what?
Come back from
like,
the dead.
What the hell is happening? And then I have to tell him what's happening is the fuel at home is not seducing your manhood and rushing blood. But when you're in Naivasha, you're on rally mode. WRC. At home, you're doing tuk-tuk performances.
Be nice.
No, it's a fact. But you see, I'm not. Guess what? Guess what, Jigero? This is what's going to happen.
No.
The men who are going to watch this episode. I cannot wait to see their comments because all the men who have had this struggle or who have this struggle will be like, yes, that guy, what he has said happens. I know this because I've had this call from so many men, hundreds over the years. All the same story. And uniquely it's because the fueling system, the neurochemicals that cause us to have that beastly mode in Naivasha turn on. And at home, let's put it this way. At home, sexuality can be very mechanical. It can be very obligational. Look at the words that I'm using to describe the sex at home. How do they charge your sexual body to be like a rally car? They can't. But when you are in Naivasha, your motors are turned on even before you leave Nairobi or wherever you are to get to your destination. True or false? Even with that woman who you're performing tuk-tuk behaviors, when she tells you, you know what, babe, 2 weeks from now, we're just going to drive towards Turkana. And as we're driving towards Turkana, we're going to stop somewhere and I am going to give you a BJ. Suddenly, your motor is switched on. Like, ooh, that sounds good. By the time you get to...
That sounds like a plane.
Yes, by the time you get to Turkana, yes, you're so charged up. When you do have your sexual episode, she tells you, wow, babe, in Turkana, you seem to have a lot of energy compared to the house. Why? Because of the neurochemical burst that triggers your sexual body to have a bit more oomph. That oomph is what causes things to work out. It's what causes your combustion system to burn more fuel and give you energy. It's as simple as that.
The problem that married people are going to have with you,
yes,
and you have to take care of it,
yes,
is this.
Which is?
Must we drive out? Must we drive towards Turkana?
Yes.
Must we go to Naivasha?
Yes.
What can we do in the house?
No, Jigero. No. You need to understand one thing. In the house, and I'm going to bet with you, men who are going to watch this episode understand exactly what I'm saying. In the house, it's the same bedroom you sleep in every night, every day, every night, every day. It's the same bedroom where you quarrel with your wife. Your kid just burst into the room and maybe you just wanted me time. There's a lot of negative energy that goes into that room. Are there positives in the room as well? Yes, but there's a lot of negatives.
Can you talk about the positives?
Sorry?
Can you talk about the positives?
Before I talk about the positives,
yes.
I want to talk about how the negatives
yes.
are not going they're not going to dismiss Naivashas.
Yes.
They're not going to miss Naivashas. And Naivashas don't necessarily mean you're going to Naivasha with somebody else. You're going with your wife. But Jagero, this is something I've done for years. So I'm going to tell you what works versus what you think people need to hear. Those are two different things. Because I'm not an entertainer. I'm a sexual scientist. So I have to tell people what works. Today, when I'm mentoring a couple who are married, I tell them this is not going to work in your bedroom alone. You need to get rid of your children by leaving them in the house. You leave the house. And when you get to Naivasha, Diani, Zanzibar, wherever you can afford to go there as two different people. You told me you met in campus. When you're in Naivasha, you're that campus couple. You're not my wife. I'm not your husband. You're my girl. You are my chick. The energy, the perception that you're supposed to be building up is, even in the car, you are, as Kenyans say, you are katianaing. You're teasing each other. You're not in the car asking each other about the house help. What was cleaned? What was not cleaned? Did you pay school fees? Mother called last night. Did you call her back? That's not what we're having. Was that delivered? Did you sign that contract? That's not conversation. You're looking at your wife like she's your chick. She's looking at you like, hey, this is my hunk. The things I'm not going to do with this guy when we get to Naivasha. That's the conversation you're going to have in that car. If you cannot manifest that energy, I can't help you. I can't help you. Are there couples who in that bedroom at home, magic happens? Yes. But what I found unique about that couple is they consciously decided from the beginning, babe, even though you're my wife, sometimes when we're in the bedroom, you're my bitch, you're my hoe. And she says the same thing to her husband. You're not my husband. Because if I just think of you as a husband, I'm going to think of issues we have. Right now, you are my organic dildo. And I'm going to use that tool between your legs the way I want. And the guy's like, come on, baby, let's do this. Ooh. Now, if they can manifest that energy, things work. But if you're just having sex for the sake of having sex, which a lot of people do, like, let me tell you something I do not endorse. I do not endorse couples who say we must have sex 4, 5 times, 6 times a week. That's not sex. That's obligational sex. That's procreational sex. Chances are only one of you is really enjoying it. The other one is just playing good member of the team. It balances things out.
Or a bad member of the team.
No, good member of the team.
Could be a bad member of the team.
No, but good member of the team, what I mean by that is they want harmony. If I say no, we're not going to talk for 2 weeks. If I say yes, I keep the peace. In the morning, that person who received, the one who really wanted it, in the morning, they'll touch you and go like, hey, babe, last night was dope. And for you, it was not dope, but you're happy. Why? Because they're happy. Now, I would like couples to avoid that because at some point, it comes and it blows in your face. Now, the person who was struggling because they had to pretend, one day says, you know what, enough is enough. And that enough is enough day comes. And it's either the woman or the man. So it's better to manifest the energy that sustains it. And part of that energy is you have to start culturing flirtatious, lustful energy for each other. If you can't do that, I don't see a blissful sexual life moving forward. I just don't see it.
Let's talk about the guy that understands that he's got a small, the girth is not.
Or he's just small.
Yes. He needs to pleasure himself, like you've said, that when we do some things to women, to a woman,
yes,
then she reciprocates.
Okay.
And does it to us.
Yes.
What can a man with the small him do to flavor his sex life?
Even if you add the word flavor, it doesn't mean anything's going to be flavored, yeah? But I know what you're asking. But do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you the truth?
You can tell me what I want to hear, and then you can tell me the truth.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the right thing, which is the truth. In most cases that I've dealt with, because I have dealt with this case, there is a size that unless he does something about it, in terms of even if it's increasing his girth, regardless of what he tries, his size will never cause her to feel him. That's just that. You're not going to change that today, tomorrow, ever. There are men I've met who are like, you know what? I know my size. He knows himself. I know my size unless I increase it. Like, for example, my increase the girth. I know I'm never going to pleasure her. However, I am willing to learn how to pleasure her with more than just my penis. Okay. So at least you're not a selfish guy. So he wants to learn, how can I make her come using my tongue? How can I make her come using my fingers? How can I make her come? Because I bought her a set of sex toys. Can I use that as well? And then I will mount her at the end of the session, and then I'll come. But guess what? She's happy. I'm happy. Done. There's another guy who comes and says, Maurice, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to grow my member because I want to enjoy my members well. I'll learn all the other things, but I want my member to grow. So I advise that guy to invest in a penis pump and supplements that aid the growth of tissue. The disclaimer is it can take anywhere from 6 to 12 months for him to gain the girth, where when he's inside her, she's like, whoa, I can feel the change. And it's happened to many of my clients. And it's always great when a male client calls you and says, wow, you said 12 months, but I did it in 5. Dude, we were having sex with my wife the other night, and she just whispered that, dude, I'm feeling you in ways I've never felt you. I can only imagine what that guy's feeling. The guy even calls me and tells me, if you're ever in town, holla, I need to buy you whiskey. We need to celebrate this, Matheka. That is a man who is happy. Why? Because I gave him options, and he took one. And this option is working for him. Another thing is he dedicated and invested in it. So obviously it's going to work. But nothing comes easy. That's the one thing I always tell men.
A lot of people are scared of the penis pump. Tell us how it works.
It's a suction thing.
Tell us how it works.
Okay.
The science behind it.
The science behind it.
Yes.
It's a tube. It could be about that long. Normally, it's like about 9 inches long. And obviously, because it's a tube, your penis goes into the tube. And where your penis goes into the tube, there's a rubber. So the rubber comes and holds your penis, like the way I'd be holding this. And when it holds your penis, at the top end, there used to be manual ones where you press. Today, there's like a battery. And what that battery does, where your penis is, it creates a suction. That suction starts to expand your penis tissue. So if you exercise anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depends on your investment. That's what makes the difference. It's like when you go to the gym. There's a trainer who will tell you, you've chosen 2 days and there's results you want in 3 months. But if you were to gym for 4 days, your results would be within the 3 months. Your 2-day training may take 6 months or 8 months. So the amount of investment you take in terms of the exercises you need to do, and all you need to do is just once this drains out, plug it like you plug your phone. It charges up, and it can never charge while you're using it. So you take the head off, you charge it, and then you place the head back on this shaft where your penis goes in. And then you just switch it on, and then you hear this buzzing, woo, and all it's doing is you can feel it pressurizing your penis. And within 2 weeks' time, you literally see a difference in your penis girth when you're using it. Now, the magic happens when the girth is sustained. So you can inflate, and you're like, wow. But when you wake up tomorrow, it's shrunk back. So the more you do the exercises with the pump, the more the tissue starts to grow. But it's growing because it's aided by certain supplements. And those supplements are not synthetic. They're basically a combination of plant root-based ingredients, and they help in the tissue growth. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything that grows has to be given some nutritional value for it to grow. Within, I've had guys who have seen a major difference within a month. I've seen others 5 months, 7 months. But the ones who see amazing results are the ones who, if I tell them use this at least 4 times a week or 5 times a week, they do it long haul. The problem is when a guy gives you a report 6 months later and then he happens to tell you, but there's like a month where I was very lazy. So in that month, I think I used it 4 times. Then I'm, dude, who's challenging who? You're challenging yourself. You wanted to gain something, but you're not putting in the hours. But those who do, wow. It's always great because I get those feedbacks a lot because I have a lot of guys now who are either on the pump and the supplements. And it's amazing when a guy tells you, wow, like, and then the thing is, yes, he can see a difference because he's exercising, but the difference that matters the most comes from his woman. When she tells him, oh my God, when you're inside me, I feel you, like, wow, you fill me up. That to a man is the most powerful thing a woman can tell you. So it works. It just does. Just works. It's amazing. It's a great feeling.
People of the internet, that was, I don't even know the name of this episode.
It's girthy.
It's girthy.
It's girthy.
It's girthy. Yes. Is the name of this episode. The size?
Oh, yes. The size.
I hope you love this episode. And for me, I think I had a eureka moment. Is it not the episode where I said I had a eureka moment?
Yes, it is. I
had a eureka moment. I hope that you also had a eureka moment. The idea is to make this a bold conversation.
Correct.
About several topics.
Yes.
And the first series of dialogues with Jagero, we are starting with sexual education. And I think a lot of people ignore it. People want to be ashamed about it. But I think it's part of our life.
It is.
It's a big part of our lives. A lot of people are hurting and suffering and are asking questions about these things because there is that part of their lives that is completely ignored and they're not feeling good about it.
Right.
Feels like I'm going to die soon, but this part of my life is really suffering, you know? So I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please leave a comment, ask a question. Matheka is here to answer your questions. We will leave his number. And I don't know what else. Is your email on the public domain?
Yes, it is. It's Maurice Matheka at Gmail, but I prefer WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is good, yeah?
WhatsApp is good.
Yeah. All right. So, great. Yes, please hit on that notification bell so that when the other episode is out, you can be notified. The other thing is that we have got socials. You know, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, which is now called X, and Facebook. You can always follow us there. And you can always get the cuts, the beautiful, nice cuts that we are going to be getting from the long videos. Until another episode, bye for now.